the Street from the Fam podcast, where we talk about money and mental health. So today we are going to be meeting with some random persons on the street, and we are going to be asking them some interesting questions about money. So keep on watching, don't touch the dial.
Welcome to Fam on the Street, a new segment from the Fam podcast, where we bring our conversations directly to you, the everyday people. From the rising cost of living to smart budgeting tips, we'll learn just how families are coping and making smart or poor financial decisions. Stay tuned to the Fam podcast as Braimoh and his crew from Fam on the Street might be coming to a community near you. And remember, personal finance is personal and your mental health is priceless.
Hello everyone, my name is Juliet and welcome to another episode of the Fam on the Street from the Fam podcast, where we'll talk about money and mental health. So today we're going to be talking about breaking the silence, overcoming depression by speaking up. Millions of people all over the world are going through depression, and speaking up is crucial for healing. So let's hear the thoughts of people on why speaking up matters. So keep on watching and stay tuned. Beautiful this evening.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Julia. What's your name?
Progress.
Okay, Progress. I'm going to be asking you a question on depression. Why we need to speak up when we are going through depression, okay? The first question here is, do you think it's okay to speak up while going through depression?
I'm going to say it's okay because I was once depressed, and I'm not the kind of person that usually speaks out about what I'm going through. But at a point, I decided to let my friend know, like, this is what I'm going through. So she came through for me in so many ways, and I was able to get over that.
So it's okay to speak up when you're going through depression?
Yes, it's very much okay. You should just look for at least one or two persons you can confide in, somebody you know that you can trust and that can help you out on anything.
Do you think it's okay to speak up why going through depression? Is it okay to speak up?
Yes, it's okay to
speak. Can I hear the reason why? Okay.
Sometimes when we get to share things we pass through, we find it relieving to think that we can even talk about it. Because most times we find ourselves depressed, not really because it's something really overwhelming, but the fact that we can't talk about it, we are scared of sharing it with someone. But the moment you can share it with someone, it's relieving. And most times you get solutions.
What do you think? Okay, do you think it's okay? Do you think it's okay to speak out while going through depression?
Yes, it's very, very okay. But at the same time, it depends on the person you are speaking. Depression, like what you're going through. You have to speak to someone you know has the right state of mind for you to be able to share your experience or what's making you depressed. Okay, so I will encourage everyone to meet the right, not like the right, because you can't just know the right person to meet, but at least if you are a Christian, you should have a pastor, and your pastor should be your mentor. So at least taking the time to meet your pastor because churches do have counseling time, so it's very, very good to go during the counseling time to talk to your pastor about what you're going through.
Very important. I think it's okay to speak up while going through depression.
Yes.
Tell me why?
Because when you ease your mind, there's this feeling you feel a lot better than keeping things in your heart and it eats you up. So when you find someone to tell it to, it kind of gives you this kind of, makes you burden free. That's what I have to say.
I think it's okay to speak up while going through depression.
Yes, I feel it's okay when going through depression, you should speak up, because communication, so that people will be able to know when and how to help you. If they're going to refer you to a therapist to help you out in this. And keeping quiet and keeping silent about it and thinking things are going to resolve doesn't always solve an issue. But confiding in other persons will help solve the issue. If it's beyond anybody to solve, then recommending you to a therapist to talk to somebody about your situation will also help you.
That's amazing. Thank you. Question, do you think it's okay to speak out while going through depression?
Yes, I think that's the first thing to do.
when you notice you are going through depression. First thing is to speak out. It's very important to speak out because depression kills silently. That's what now give people the thoughts of suicide or other thoughts of So I think you should first of all talk to people that are closer to you, your loved ones, like people that I think that you can talk to and be comfortable with, because different things can cause depression and you might not be comfortable talking to just anybody yet. And I just think talk to your loved one first before they now recommend maybe talking to a therapist if it's too much for them to handle. Just it's good to speak out here, like that's very important. Speak out.
Speak out. That's important. Okay, I think it's okay to speak out while going through depression. Okay, I'm going to start from you.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, reason?
Because if you don't speak up, you won't get the help that you need, and it can lead to like more drastic decisions and all.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, what's your take?
Yeah, it's okay too, because if you don't speak up, it can lead to a lot of things, self-harm, overthinking is the least of it actually. So, yeah.
Okay. What do you think it's okay to speak up while going through depression? Okay, let me start from Sunshine. Okay.
Yes, it's okay to speak up because during depression, it's okay to speak up. You know why? So that somebody can die in depression. You know, overthinking, stuff like that. You have to talk to someone so that they can help her in any situation. So I think it's okay to speak up during depression.
To speak out actually, because when you don't speak out, you might keep having low self-esteem about yourself. You will not always be happy and you become very sad, and then probably you just feel like killing yourself. You know, a lot of our girls, they go through depression, then the only miss is just to take snapper and then they end their life. But when they speak out, they tend to have people, especially their church members, some of them do actually care about them. Then they can like assist them whatever way. You know, it's okay to speak out. Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think it's okay to speak up while going through depression?
Okay, to speak up.
Yeah.
Well, I would say it's in two phase. It's in two phase. It depends. First of all, the first phase, speaking up when you're depressed or before going into depression. Depends in two places. First of all, you can speak to someone and it can turn back against you. Like they use what you say, your expression, your emotion against you. But if you have the right person to speak with, someone you can trust, I think it's better to speak out. But for me, I don't trust anybody, so I don't speak out.
Okay. Do you think it's okay for people going through depression to speak up?
Yeah, I think so, because I was once depressed, and speaking out and being surrounded with people that really care to listen and offer you solutions and stuff was able to like help me. So I would really advise that they speak out. Yeah, it's very important, because they say a closed mouth or shut mouth, it's closed destiny or something.
Okay, the first question here is, do you think it's okay to speak up while going through depression?
Yes, of course. I actually think it's okay, because when you don't speak out, you die in silence. And if you speak out, I know some people might feel they don't want to speak out because people might mock them or something like that. But I really don't feel like that. I really feel you should speak up in anything. Like anything you are going through, just speak up, because you might not know who would help you, and you will just find an helper in situations like that. And when you don't speak up, nobody would know that this is what you are going through. So it's better, it's really, really good to speak.
Okay, the next question here is, do you think speaking up can help the stigma that depression created?
I think it varies depending on the person you talk to and depending on the kind of advice the person gives to you. But in my case, it was very okay for me, because when I spoke to my friend, she helped me and all of that. And some I was able to speak to my mom at some point too, so it helped me. It just depends on the kind of person you speak to.
Question here is, do you think speaking up can reduce the stigma of being depressed, the stigma of the situation the person was in? Do you think speaking up can reduce the stigma?
Depends on how enlightened the society is. Sometimes speaking up increases stigma in where people are not really educated on the effect of depression. But most times when people are enlightened on how much people have to be healed of their hearts, so speaking up just solve the issues because you get to receive counsels, advices. Yeah.
That's good. I think speaking up can help the stigma the depression created.
Yes, it helps. It's just like when you're going through pain, you have to go out, speak out, buy drugs for that injury. Because if you do not speak out for that injury, definitely the injury will only get worse.
And it will lead to something else. That's
yes.
Okay, depression can lead to so many things.
So many things. Yes.
So we need to speak out. It doesn't matter the stigma it's going to create.
Yes.
We just need to speak out. Okay. Do you think speaking up can reduce the stigma created by the depression or whatsoever the person might be going through?
Okay, talking about it. Okay, I'm going to relate it to HIV, for example. When people had HIV and the stigmatization was high on it, so it didn't change the fact that people were dying from it. Like not having a knowledge about a disease doesn't change the fact that it's not happening. So I do not think that when you talk about it's going to reduce or it's actually going to increase the knowledge about depression. I'm going to tell people that depression is not a normal thing, and when you are going through it, you should learn to speak out, talk to people about it, and also sit. And people find it difficult to go to the hospital most times, but when you are finding it, okay, your health-wise doesn't actually be when you are sick, but when you are mentally not okay, it's a sickness on its own. So not having the right mental capability can be an issue. So talking to doctors about that can also help you.
Thank you. This is amazing. Do you think speaking up can reduce the stigma created by the situation the person is going through? Do you think speaking out can reduce the stigma?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Like I think talking to someone or speaking out, anybody, not just talking to anybody, because it's not even it's not by talking to anybody that will solve it. Just try your best to speak up, and there are still cases where it might not reduce it, and you still speak. That's why I say choose the right people to speak up to, because what if you talk to someone and the person just say, you don't even know, I'm going through worse than you. You are not helping the person.
Yes, you're making the situation to be more complex.
Yeah, I was almost in a situation like that. I was depressed for a while, and I tried to talk to people, and that's what helped me come out of it gradually. So yes, that's speaking up. It still helps.
So I think speaking up can reduce the stigma created by whatsoever the person might be going through.
Okay, so speaking up to the right people can reduce but like if you speak up to the wrong people, they can use it and catch cruise, so it just makes it worse, and that's why most people prefer just keeping it to themselves than talking about it, so it will not be gist.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay, I understand that. Okay, what's your take?
About the same thing, just speak up to the right set of people and there should be a probable solution.
Do you think speaking up can help reduce the stigma that the situation created for that person?
It does not reduce it actually, to me. That's my opinion, because for example, I have a friend who has HIV and she speaks out. She tells me, then humans, we tend to, so I'm going to tell my other friend, I'm like, and she'll be feeling somehow, she'll be feeling that's it. So that's
true. So what about you?
I think it reduces.
Okay.
Yeah, because actually when you actually speak to someone you love, like someone you are close with, so maybe someone use all these motivational things to tell you like how life goes on, so it actually reduces. Yes.
I think speaking up while going through depression or any situation can reduce the stigma it's created.
I would say it can't.
It can't.
No, because speaking out at times, it is stress. When you are having some heavy hearts at times, And when you speak out, you'll be free, you'll be relieved. There will be some kind of relief within you, and
So it's very important to speak out.
it's important to speak out. If you trust someone, if you have
If you
someone
trust
to trust,
someone, okay.
yeah.
Okay, now
You don't just walk up to a random person and speak out. Yeah.
I think speaking up will help reduce the stigma that the situation created for that person.
Wait, when we talk about speaking out, is it to the general public or your friends or to someone? Okay, I think they should speak out, and also I think therapy sessions are not too rampant in our world, like in Nigeria, but we would advise that they talk to a therapist who's gonna like help them and to stuff like that.
That's good. Okay, do you think speaking up helps reduce the stigma, the situation that the person is going through? Do you think speaking up can help reduce the stigma the person is experiencing?
Yes. It can help. It can help reduce the stigma. But for some people, I think they will still see it like I should not speak up. Let me just be in my closet and hide everything going on with me. But really, I feel people should speak up. When you speak up, you would meet people that would even share same experiences with you, and with that, you can come out from such.
Okay, any advice for those people struggling to speak up? There are a lot of people going through a lot, but they are scared to come out to speak to somebody. What's your advice for them?
I don't know, but I'm just going to say that God actually helps them, because I'm always hoping on God to help out persons that are going through hard times and everything. I know it's very hard to speak up most times, because you feel like, what if this person they just laughs at me like, I'm going through depression in this stuff. Is there anything like depression? Because many Nigerians kind of laugh about some stuff and everything. So it might be very hard to speak up, and I just pray anybody that finds a way to speak up meets the right person that's going to help them.
Thank you so much. Advice for people struggling to speak up. Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah. You should learn to speak up. Yeah, even if you're going to be sometimes despised for doing that, but we should just learn to speak up, because it's not really about getting the help from people, but freeing yourself internally by speaking up. Because talking about it, telling or sharing it to someone just help you ease that pain you feel within yourself.
Any advice for those people who are finding it difficult? You're finding it very difficult to speak out.
Yes. What I have to say is, whatever depression you are going through, I will encourage you to speak out to a friend, not just a friend, either your pastor, either it's someone you see as a mentor, or someone you see as an advisor, but someone you also see that has the right state of mind. Even a good lecturer. Not every lecturer are really, really nice or to give you a listening ear, but there are good lecturers that will also give you a listening ear. And even a good friend as well.
Okay, do you think speaking up can reduce the stigma?
Yes.
Okay, tell me.
When you find someone to tell it to, know how the person will have an advice for you, and that kind of makes you feel free. And there's this feeling that there's somebody that gets you, so you kind of feel good after telling the person.
That's amazing. So what advice do you have for people out there that are finding it very difficult to speak out?
Number one, they should find a safe space, somebody they can rely on at every time, and also they should put God in everything. So
that's amazing. Thank you for your time. Okay, so what advice do you have for people who are finding it difficult? A lot of people are holding back from speaking up. So what do you have to say?
Just try to look for a family member or a loved one that you feel you can speak up to. That's the first thing. If you are close to your mom, your dad, anyone, your siblings, talk to them so you won't die in silence. It's going to go a long way. Even if it's not going to help fast, it can help gradually. It can even help faster if you talk to your loved one than
seeing a therapist.
So what do you have to say to them?
Simple, not so simple, but it's just simple. Just pray about it, basically, because the only person that will not cast you is God.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and try as much as possible to have like good relationship with people, because your circle matters in that particular time. If you are in the midst of people that are nonchalant, they don't care, or like they are all about screws and all, when you bring up a sensitive issue like that, they are not entwined or they are not mature to pick it up that, okay, this is like your own way of crying out for help, and they may disregard it and you feel bad and you just close up.
Like she said, the first thing is praying about it. And for some people, getting a therapist might help. But I would say having prayerful friends, having friends that are wise, that are smart, that understand these things, or can render any help possible, or maybe they've been through similar stuff, or they've seen people go through it and gotten over it. Yeah, things like that.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm sure a lot of people out there are going to learn from what you just said.
I would say if anyone going through depression right now, if you're in your shoes, I will inform my pastor first of all, because a pastor is like a father to you, someone that you can confidently tell everything to. Yeah, so I'll tell my pastor, then he can help me, he can assist me in whatever way he can. I can't tell my friends actually, except it's a trivial issue.
Okay, what about you?
Okay, my advice is that if you are going through depression, if I was in the person's shoes, actually for my parents, because I'm actually close with them. So that's what I want to say. I for my parents, because they're actually good advice. Like, they support me in any way, so my parents is okay.
But any advice for people going through depression, but they are finding it very difficult to come out, to speak out, to talk?
Advice for them. Advice for them. I will advise them, the public, because there's nothing there. Being depressed, just keeping something within doesn't help. I have to look for someone you can trust, someone you can be able to, at least among everybody in the world, there's nobody that is bad. Among all of them, 100% can't be bad, no. There are some good people. Try and look out for those good people. Example, your pastor, number one. You can communicate with your pastor. Is the best example you can. Then probably your parents, if they are not the harsh type, because there are some parents now that when you share your pain with them, they just overlook it.
And they might make it very difficult for you as well. That's what some people think.
Yeah. So you just have to look for someone you can trust, someone you can rely on to share.
Like a therapist. What do you think about therapists in that situation?
I've not encountered. I've been hearing of it, but it's not something I've one-on-one interaction with. So I do watch it in movies and the rest, but if therapist is the best opinion for you, it's okay.
What do you have for people who are going through depression, but they are finding it very difficult to come out, to speak out?
Okay, I would advise everyone out there facing depression to like come out, to speak out, and for themselves, I would suggest that they try to, something must, there's cause and effect, so something must be causing it. So they should disassociate themselves from that stuff, and so that they should embrace people that are there to help them, people with positivity. And because when you have positive energy, you're able to influence people positively too. So they should surround themselves with people like that, and people who are optimistic, so they can survive that.
What advice do you have for people who have been going through situations that are really weighing them down, but they need somebody to speak to? What do you have to say to them?
I would say talk to God. Talk to God. Talk to people. Even if you don't have friends, there are some strangers that you meet that would even be better than friends that you've kept for years. So it's better you just come out and say what's really going on with you, and I'm sure you would find someone that would really help. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Fam Podcast with Braimoh. Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Fam on the Street. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Fam Podcast with Braimoh. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to get updates on our latest episode and catch up on our previous episodes. Until next time, stay blessed.
Welcome to Fam on the Street, a new segment from the Fam Podcast, where we bring our conversations directly to you, the everyday people. From the rising cost of living to smart budgeting tips, we'll learn just how families are coping and making smart or poor financial decisions. Stay tuned to the Fam Podcast as Braimoh and his crew from Fam on the Street might be coming to a community near you. And remember, personal finance is personal and your mental health is priceless. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Fam Podcast. We hope you learned something valuable today. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. And remember, health is wealth, and wealth is health. We'll see you next time.